Hello and welcome to tonight's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I think this is a debut on the channel, at least for me to solve, a puzzle by Chris Napolitano. And this has been recommended to us a couple of times recently. It's called Plus Minus Information. And that is because, this is a beautiful looking grid, by the way. Absolutely beautiful. And it involves the digits 0 to 8. But it includes positive and negative information. What does that mean? Well, we'll get onto the rules properly in a moment, but just to give you an idea, obviously these two cells sum up to 5 because of the V that separates the cells. Now, all the V's in this puzzle are given. So, for example, these two cells could not sum to V. It could not sum to 5. And that's what it means by positive information. We know something positively true about this domino, and we also know something, there's sort of information revealed about this domino, or indeed any domino in the puzzle that doesn't contain a V, because the absence of a V is important. So this is what we're going to have to use. It's got 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty, a wealth of just wonderful comments. So apparently this is a very lovely puzzle. I will say that just, it passes the eye test. It really is a beautiful setup. No given digits, some incredibly short Rembrandt lines, a couple of diagonals and a few V's and the negative information. I think Chris might be a high school maths teacher in New York. I could be wrong about that. I'd love to know. I'm guessing he's using his real name as his Sudoku name. So if that's true, perhaps some of his students will watch the video and will let us know. Anyway, I don't have much news for you today. Just an appeal as ever. If you do enjoy the content on the channel, we do have the best Sudoku club in the world over on Patreon. It's a couple of bucks a month to join us there. There is always a monthly competition running, which is a Sudoku hunt of some sort. There's loads of extra crossword content, puzzle content in the form of connections and all sorts of other things. Lots of New York Times type puzzles over there, so do check that out. It might be interesting for some of you. And the other thing is to mention our apps, where our apps are rather different from your standard Sudoku app there, because all of the puzzles in our apps are handmade by some of the world's very best constructors, so a lot of fun to be had there as well. I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen. But with that said and done, let us have a look plus minus information and see what Chris Napolitano has in store for us. These are the rules. We have got to place the digits 0 to 8 in every row, column and 3x3 box of the grid without repeats. So it's sort of his normal Sudoku rules, except we're not using the digit 9. We have replaced the digit 9 with the digit 0. Then we've got digits separated by an X sum to 10. Okay, there are none of those. Okay, all right. There are none of those given. Digits separated by V sum to 5. All X's and V's are given. So there are not only could we say this domino doesn't contain 2 digits that sum to 5, we can also say it doesn't contain 2 digits that sum to 10, because all X's are given and there are no X's in the grid. Now the next rule says that digits may not repeat along the negative or positive diagonals. So this is the negative diagonal here, so called because if you were to plot a graph of y against x, with this being the y-axis and this being the x-axis, this line here has a negative gradient, and that's why it's sometimes called the negative diagonal. So these squares here have to contain no repeated digits, and the same is true of the positive diagonal, which is this one. So no repeated digits along there. And there's only one more rule. Digits placed on purple lines must be a non-repeating set of consecutive digits in any order. And these lines are so short. In fact, maybe actually, what I might do is just make it clear. Well, I suppose it's also true for that purple line. That must be a non-repeating set of consecutive digits, because it's all the digits in the puzzle. So maybe I don't have to make it clear that that's just a negative diagonal. It works as well for this line as it does for this line. So what that means is, let's say this square here was a 2. Now, because this line has to contain a non-repeating set, in fact, I can see immediately it's not a 2, but that's solving, so we won't do that. This square here has to be a 1 or a 3. Now, do have a go. The way to play, as always on Cracking the Cryptic, is to click the link under the video. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. Let's go straight up here. So what I'm seeing, and in fact this pattern repeats in the grid, doesn't it? In all of these boxes, let's think about normally, in a normal Sudoku puzzle, how many different types of V domino could you have within a box? Well, you could have 1 and 4, they add up to 5. You could have 2 and 3, they add up to 5. But in normal Sudoku, that would be it. But not in this Sudoku, because we have the digit 0, and 0 and 5 also add up to 5. So in all of these boxes, the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 appear in these sort of rectangles, which means that the digits 6, 7 and 8 have to appear in the other positions. I almost put a 9 in there. The other positions within the boxes. Okay, I'm going to get a digit straight away, which is rather lovely. But the digit I'm going to get is that one. But I'm actually going to talk about this one first, because let's consider the nature of two consecutive digits. We know these two digits are consecutive with one another because of the purple line. Now, any two consecutive digits will include an odd number and an even number. Well, given the choices here, the odd number must be the digit 7, mustn't it? So this digit is not a 7. Oh, hang on, there's loads going on down here. There's many more things. We're going to look at box 9 now, because I know that this digit is consecutive with a digit that's 6, 7 or 8. Well, given that 6, 7 and 8 are here, this must be a 5, mustn't it? Because whatever this is, let's try and make this 8. Well, this can't be 7. A, because it's on a V domino, so it must be a digit that's no greater than 5. And B, because the other high digits are up there. So this is going to be a 6. This is going to be a 5. That's going to be a 0. We're off to the races here. As I say, I'm not sure. I don't think this puzzle is meant to be terribly hard. But now look at these two digits. They're consecutive and they add up to V, or 5, if we're not using Roman numerals nomenclature. So these have got to be 2 and 3. These have got to be 1 and 4. Now. Oh, okay. Now I have got stuck. Hang on. That's not 6. Look, on the negative diagonal, we've already got a 6 here. We've got a lone V in the middle box. This isn't a 6. Oh dear, hang on. I thought it was going so well. Oh, I've been hoisted by my own petard there, because I was just saying how we were sort of flying through the puzzle, and now I've got totally and utterly stuck. Oh, Bobbin, sorry. I almost wonder whether what we need to do is to colour these dominoes. I mean, for example, this pair here. They're going to either mimic themselves in this domino or this domino, and then there's going to be... Well, yes, that's it. Ah, right. Yeah, that is important. Actually, that's really clever. That is weirdly clever immediately. In the right, we're going to have to put our thinking caps on here, because this has suddenly got very interesting. Right, let's just look at that domino. Now I know, because that's the flavour of V domino that adds up, that contains 1 and 4, and that flavour must exist in this box. It's either here or here. Now let's just imagine it's here for a moment. The point then is, look at these squares. We know that the two green digits are in these squares, but we also know that there's no V in this box at all. So we can't have this digit being green, because it will be connected to its friend in one of those two positions, and it will create a V domino, which we know cannot exist because we're given all the V dominoes. So what that means is, well, let's keep going with this. It would mean that the two green digits would be there, but the point is that logic is completely transportable. Let's look at this domino. That would, in this example, be here. Orange would have to be in these 3 squares, but it could never take this square. It would have to be those 2. And similarly for the 0 and the 5. So what we instead can do is we can say that the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 can never occupy these 3 squares in this box. They're always going to be separated. And that means these squares are 6, 7 and 8. And that means these squares are 6, 7 and 8. We've got a Renban here that must contain it must contain one of these naughty domino digits. Okay, yeah, look, those are 6, 7 and 8 by Sudoku. So that's really strange. So actually the puzzle, the secrets of the puzzle are being yielded by the high digits, not the low digits, even though it's the low digits about which we're given information. So those are low, that's low, those are low, but there are 6 low digits, so okay. Can we do any more with that knowledge, or... No, it's the same. It's the same again. Okay, I don't know why I can't see that immediately. That's so inept. But anyway, it's very interesting. Let's do the same up here. So this domino, I don't know what it contains, but I know it adds up to 5. And that is going to be mimicked in not this one, obviously, but either here or here. That is going to let's say it was there. That's going to transplant itself to box 2, forcing 2 of these 3 squares to be yellow, but this one can't be yellow because it will form a V domino either there or there. So the logic that we've just been doing dictates that these squares have to be 6, 7 and 8 in order to separate V dominoes that effectively exist there, there and there. And now these are 6, 7 and 8. That's not 6 by dint of the 6 on the diagonal. I've got a 7, 8 pair here. Yeah, this is lovely. What a lovely puzzle. So now, look at the negative diagonal. Every other cell on the negative diagonal is a colourable, well, it's a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, because I've got a 6, 7, 8 triple. Similarly, on the positive diagonal, I've got a 6, 7, 8 triple. That's not 6. Now, let me just think about this. I am now more convinced than ever that we are going to have to colour. But how? It's going to be something to do with... I think the diagonals are going to have to come into play somehow. I'm not immediately seeing how to do this, actually. But I'm sure that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to somehow allocate these V dominoes in a way. The weird thing is that's somehow going to lead to... It's going to be tricky, I think, actually. I'm suddenly thinking this is tricky because this domino is a V domino, isn't it? Oh, hang on, I've got something. All right, I've got something. I've just spotted something. But this is a... Well, let me continue the line of thought I was going along. I'm going to delete the colours from there. We know this is some sort of V domino. Let's pick a better colour. Right. Now, what that means is that these 4 squares here are selected from the other 2 V dominoes. Now, obviously, we're never going to be able to make a V domino here or here because that would require a V between them. So the digits are going to be sort of allocated either diagonally for the other Vs or vertically, but they're never going to be in dominoes like this. Now, let's leave that though, because the other thing I've noticed, Maverick, I mean, it's actually dark outside and Maverick's going to fly over, which is quite unusual, but Maverick is ever thus. Now, let's look at this domino for a moment. The 0 and the 5 domino. I'm not sure whether I'm going to have to colour these cells individually. I might have to, you know. But the point I wanted to make there is that these two cells have not yet appeared on the negative diagonal. These two here. Let's make those yellow for a moment. Now, one of these dominoes has to be yellow, look. Well, it's not that one. Because if it was that one, where would we put the V domino on the negative diagonal? Yellow would have to go in those two squares, and that's impossible because this V is telling us that this is also yellow. I'd have 3 yellow digits, and there are only 2 digits to pick from in yellow. So that's wrong, isn't it? So yellow is one of those dominoes, which... Now what does that mean? Let's just make it that one for a moment. So if yellow is that one, this digit has never appeared on the negative diagonal, so it must be in one of those two squares. Does that mean this is yellow? Obviously if that digit was there, it would be yellow. But if that digit was there... okay, then maybe that is possible. I'm not sure. The other thing is we can't repeat those 2 digits on the negative diagonal. Oh, you know what else is going on here? The other thing we mustn't lose track of is that, well, and this is not going to be relevant for all the digits, it's going to be relevant for 2s, 3s and 4s. 2s, 3s and 4s we have to be careful with, because they could make X dominoes. Imagine, look at these two squares. They cannot be 3, 7 or 2, 8, because there would be an X between them, because they would sum to 10. Yeah, this is some sort of colouring puzzle, isn't it? That's going to be the challenge, is how do we do this? How do we do this? Let me think. I'm not sure. I think we might just have to dive in. I'm going to start down here, I think, because this is the only place I've been able to allocate 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s to. So what should we do? We'll go... What colour should we make these? I don't know. These are the questions that we have to consider. We'll make that one green and that one orange, and these can be yellow and grey maybe. Now, actually yes, I quite like that. I quite like that because that means I can allocate this a colour that's broadly consistent with the world. Yeah, because 2 colours I haven't used are green and red. Now, we know that this is not... If we consider green to be... Let's consider light and dark green to be 2 digits that add up to 10. Then I know this can't be light green, because if it's light green and it's this one's partner, they would add up to 10. So that must be the light green version of 7 and 8. And this one must make a pair that adds up to 10 with red then. And that is how we will do it. So in our minds, because red and orange are quite close together, aren't they, palette-wise, and greens are quite close together palette-wise, that is how we shall think about the world. Now these 2 squares are therefore red and green, and different. These are red and green. Now... has that helped? Maybe it hasn't helped actually. I need to propagate this colouring somehow. I know grey and yellow are definitely up there, don't I? That is something I do know. Now, what else do we know? I've got to be a bit careful with 4 and 6 as well. So that's something that also we need to bear in mind. Maybe I should give 6 a colour. 6 can be... I am actually running out of colours I'm prepared to use. Well, I have to use black if I use this palette, so I'll make 6 a black digit. Now, do I know any more about 6s here? Or not really? I don't think I do I? Okay. Right, so what else do we know about the world then? I know that wherever these digits go, I know that can't be red. So that digit is because red would go with orange and make a 10 domino. So, oh. And red is also in the row already. Why do I do things that way? I don't know. Oh, no, that's wrong. What I was about to say is not correct. Okay, I'm not sure. Neither of those two digits can be 2 or 3 because they will touch the appropriate numbered 7 or 8 on one side of them, and that would be a bad thing. Oh dear, I'm stuck, aren't I? Okay, well, we must be able to do something. Let's think, how are we going to approach this? I know that this domino is either a 1-4 pair or a 2-3 pair. That is true. I know one of these digits is yellow or grey, because either this one, if this was 0-5, then this digit hasn't appeared on the diagonal and would be in one of these positions. If this is 0-5, then that one needs to appear on the diagonal in one of those two positions. I mean, It's tempting, isn't it? I'm wondering about this square and this being a 2-3 pair. That would make these two a 2-3 pair. Actually, yes, okay, the 6 here is going to sit... yes, got it. I've got it. Okay. Oh, this is such a clever puzzle. Full stop. That is really weird. Because actually, looking at the grid now I've spotted this point, I immediately, my mind went elsewhere and said, oh, where else is that applying? And I'm not seeing it anywhere else. But this square is really interesting. Don't have a go at me at parties. Because 2 and 3, remember these squares form dominoes because of these. Let's imagine this is 1-4. Then obviously these two squares have to be 1 and 4. So these form dominoes, here, 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 and here, here. Now this domino can't be the 2-3 pair, because whether this is 7 or 8, it will create a naughty 10 domino. And that means that these two squares are 2 and 3, doesn't it? So they are orange and green. But this is great. This is great because now these must be 0 and 5. These must be 1 and 4. And that square's a 6. Because if this was 7 or 8, the world would break. It would make a naughty domino one way or the other. So that's 6. This is now lime green because it's not red. So that's red. This is now, that's, oh, well, yes, that's 6. It's sort of 6 by Sudoku, but it is 6, which is great. And that's got to be red. So this has got to be lime green. Now, where do we go from here? We go that this is a 2-3 pair. That's going to be useful because we're going to be able to colour this digit. My phone is going absolutely crazy, but I'm going to ignore it. Well, oh, look, no, it's better. It's much better. I can't make a 10 domino here, so this has got to be a 1. That's got to be a 4. This, well, I can colour this digit, but I don't think it's not quite as powerful as this. Because this digit can't be the green digit, can it? Because that would make a green domino, which we know is illegal. So that's got to be orange. That's got to be green. I can see that's doing something to the middle cell of the grid. I mean, that could be useful, actually. Let's just pause for a second and think. Let me just mull this over. Yeah, I mean, maybe actually that's what I'm meant to do. Maybe I've got to focus on this middle square. Because, I mean, the thing I saw is that this square's seeing both colours of this domino. It's seeing green and orange. So this V domino here is not a 2-3 pair anymore. So it is 0, 5 or 1, 4. Now this digit can't be 1, so that digit can't be 4. What is going on? I am actually going to have to look at my phone because I've just had about 300 messages. They're all nonsense. It's WhatsApp doing its normal nonsense. Okay, so what do we do now? Let's think. I don't know is the answer. Yeah, so this digit is going to be in one of those three. This can't be a 2-3 pair, can it? Because that would require a V. These are consecutive digits. So what is this then? It's either 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 4, 5. I don't know how to do that. And I got this 4 and 1 figured out, didn't I? So 4 is in one of those squares in box 2. 1 is in one of those squares because the 1 must be in one of these 3 squares in box 5. Yeah, and that makes sense because we know that the 1 and the 4 sit on opposite sides of this sort of chaperoning triple here, separating the 2, 3, the 1, 4 and the 0, 5 dominoes that exist horizontally in box 2. Oh, but do we know what that is? Maybe not. Or can I do better with these 6 digits I've got? They were quite exciting for a moment or two, weren't they? I'm going to have to throw my phone out of the window in a moment. It's going crazy. I've got 6, 7, 8 triples in all 3 of those rows. So it is some sort of colouring allocation puzzle now. I've just got to figure out. I mean, these squares are... They are the purple-blue pair, aren't they? These are purple-blue. Have we got something going on? If I can make different colours of these point at this square, for example. I mean, if that was blue, this would have to be a 0, 5 pair. How do we do that? The answer to that is I'm not sure. Oh, right, here's a point. Let's look at this digit. Here is an interesting point. Yeah, to do with this square and this square. Because one thing we noticed, or I noticed quite early on about this pair of digits here, is that these can't be from 2, 3. Because imagine this was a 2. One of these squares is an 8. I don't know which one, but it would make a naughty domino in one direction or another. Now this digit in box 1 is in one of those 3 squares, and therefore it is on this V, isn't it? Sorry, this line, because it can't go there. By Sudoku, it is in one of these 3 positions, but we know it's not in that one. So this digit is on here. Oh, that's great. It's there. It's exactly there. Oh, this is so lovely. It is lovely. Wow. So this digit, which I haven't got the colour of, goes in there, goes in one of these 3. It doesn't go there, because that would be a naughty V domino below it. It doesn't go here because of the 7, 8 pair. So it goes exactly here. This square here is it's one of those 2. But the other interesting thing is that this cell now is consecutive with 2 or 3, but not 2 or 3. So this square is 1 or 4, and is the opposite of this. So that is that is that. That's the same digit as this, isn't it, by Sudoku? Or could that... Yes, it is actually, because that digit's 0 or 5. This triple here exists in those 3 squares by Sudoku. There's sort of roping going on, isn't there? In fact, that might be how you're meant to approach the puzzle, but these 3 digits go in those 3 squares and then in these 3 squares. Now, here, what we've got to be very careful about is allocating essentially these 3 digits, which are in these 3 positions of this box. Now, what we can't do is create naughtinesses, can we? So, for example, this square is definitely not that digit, because that would create a 2-3 naughty domino here. So this digit is in one of those 2, that digit is in one of these 2, and that digit is in one of those 2. Ah, that's potentially interesting, but still a bit tricky to figure out. Or is it to do with... Maybe what we could do, I hadn't thought of doing this, but maybe it's worth doing. Is there a way we can colour the diagonal digits? Because this digit here is either red or black. And if it was black, it would determine that this had to... If it was black, which is 6, this couldn't be 4. But if it's red, what's it doing? If it's red, it's more affecting the orange digit, which it doesn't seem to be very near. And that digit is, again, that's red or black. Oh no, I don't think this is how to do it, is it? So lime green is up here. No, this doesn't, I don't feel that this is how to do it at all. Okay, so I need to think again. Okay, how do we do that? What is the way that we're going to consider this better? I don't know yet. I don't think we're far away though. I think I've just got to have probably 1 or 2 more insights, and then we'll be in decent shape. Yeah, got it straight away. Right, look at the middle box, and I'm going to ask about this digit, because that digit is orange, and we know that orange makes a naughty 10 pair with red. So where am I putting orange? It's not here apparently, because we ruled 2, 3 out of there. It's not there because that would make a naughty 10 pair. There is no X. So it is there, which is therefore not 1. Oh, that's great. That is lovely. So this square now is not orange. That square is orange, just feeding through the diagonal. Oh, no, this is even better than that. Now I'm going to ask where green goes in this box. Because we know green can't go here, because that would create a V domino. It can't go there by Sudoku on the negative diagonal, so it goes there. Now, what did green... Oh, green went with lime green to create 10 dominoes, so I don't think I can do anything with that cell. Probably. Right, so what do I do now? Can I do anything clever? I'm not sure. Perhaps I've got to be careful with... I mean, I must be able to do something. Yes, I see what I can do. Neither of those 2 V's at the top there can now be the 2-3 domino in this box, because neither of these 2 squares can be either 2 or 3 because of the positive diagonal. So that is a 2-3 pair. And we can colour it using the power of dark green here. This is a brilliant puzzle. It really is sensationally good. Now look where green goes in this box. It can't go there by Sudoku. It can't go there because that would create a V domino. So that is green, which means that is actually orange. And we can do better because now that's the 2-3 by Sudoku in box 4. Now where does orange go? It just bounces back in here. Again, it's got to be in one of these three, not there by pencil marking, not there, that would create a domino and clash with Sudoku. So it goes there. This is now, oh that's lovely, this is a 1-4 pair, which is what my purple and blue colours. So that means these squares are not 1 and 4. These are the wasp colours. They're the 0-5 combination. But yeah, hang on. If that's orange, it can't go with red here. This has to be a black digit. If it was red, that domino would add up to 10. So this is a 6 and is the black digit, which means that is not 6. That's the red digit. I really hope that's not breaking anything. I think it's okay, isn't it? So if that's... oh, okay. So now we know these squares. They are 7 and 8. They're the two flavours here. This is a red lime green pair. I mean, colouring has worked, hasn't it? So far, anyway. It really has. All we've got to do now is make sure we can get it to the end. So how do we do that? I don't know yet. I don't know yet, but I'm hopeful. Okay, what have we got? Oh, I see. Yeah, this digit is 1 or 4. Well, this digit can't be a 1 or a 4 now, or that creates a naughty V. So that's 1 or 4. I can't colour it, but that's now 0-5 then. These are the two waspy digits, aren't they? Let's actually do wasp colouring. I haven't done much wasp colouring yet. There we go. It's getting waspier. Now, has that helped is the next question. And the answer to that might be no. That's orange. We know that can't be red, but we already know that because this is apparently red. Oh, that's a 7 or an 8. Oh, look, I can put colour. That being red means that's red. Means that's lime green. Yeah, so I see. I could have got the 6 here. I just didn't notice that. Right, so that's lovely. That's the black digit, isn't it, by 6 knowledge. This can't be a 4 now, because 6 and 4 would add up to 10. So this digit is 0 or 5. So I now know the nature of this domino. And I get a 1 here as a result of that. This is a 0-5 wasp domino. This is a 1, which is one of those colours, but I don't know which one. That must be a... oh, yeah, okay, that's a 4. I wonder if actually I should have started the colouring for this... maybe I should have started it there rather than here. Oh, no, I don't need to now. I can use this diagonal, because that's purple, so that must be blue. So that's purple. That must be blue. That must be purple. So purple is 4 wherever it's found. Blue is 1. Where is purple in that box? It's exactly there, which is lovely because now that has to be blue. That has to be purple. That's lovely because now this little thingy here, a technical term for this Renban line is going to come into play, isn't it? Oh, look, we're getting loads done. Loads done. No 3 in the corner, but that doesn't matter. This is lovely. Now, yeah, okay, we're just going to carry on, aren't we? That has to be 1, that has to be 4, 4 is purple. Can we just... no, maybe I've got to be careful. Oh, no. Okay, where's 4 in this box? And the diagonal is very good, isn't it? So this is a 4-1 domino. That's purple, that's blue. So this is a blue one by power of logic, that's a purple 4 by power of logic. These two squares now, whoopsie, are 2 3s. That's huge. Because if that's a 2-3 pair, well, not only can we colour them, which we can straight away by Sudoku, we know this digit can't be a 7 or an 8 because it will create a naughty 10 domino in one direction or the other. So that's 6, that's 6. That's got to be a lime green digit. 6s are the black digits, aren't they? Whoops. Have I done all the 6s? No, I haven't actually. Something about 4s is going to figure those out. That's a lovely look. That confirms everything's going swimmingly, because these don't make a 10 domino. Orange does not go with lime green, so that suggests we're in the right ballpark. That's a red digit, so that's lime green now. Lime green by Sudoku is there. This is the red digit. What's this? That's 0, 5. Oh, well, we can do that. We can do that from the bottom. That's 5 and that's 0. So 5 is yellow. That one's grey. This column has not had a 0 in it, and that must go there. Which means this square is a 5. This is a 0. 5 is yellow, isn't it? So I'm probably not doing this in the most efficient way, but we are slowly but surely finding a way through it. That 0 means this must be, you've guessed it, 5. That's got to be now 0. So this is 5 by Sudoku. That phone is still buzzing away. That's a 1, which is going to be blue. And we've actually done all of the blues. Have we done all the purples? Yes. And presumably, he says, not actually seeing where I can do this. No, I can't see where to do it, but I'm confident now we should be able to muddle through, shouldn't we? So along this diagonal, if we haven't put dark green in up here, and that dark green means this is dark green, so this is a 2-3 pair, so it's definitely not wasp coloured, is it? That's got to be the dark green digit. That's the orange digit. Let's just check the Sudoku on orange looks good. It does. The 5 here means this is 5, this is 0. So let's just tidy up the pencil marking on that. So this is 5, that's 0. I think it would definitely have been quicker at this point to have abandoned the colours, but anyway, I'm going to carry on because I like making a chromatic festival, and this is definitely that at the moment. Now, what on earth can we say at this juncture? Yeah, we can. No, I think that has to be a 6. Because look, this domino here, this is clearly, it's not lime green, so it's either red, which would create a naughty 10 domino with orange, or it's 6. So that must be 6, which means that must be 6 by a process, an arcane process known as Sudoku. Now can we, yeah, now we can colour. That's lime green, this is red, this must be lime green, and that's red, and that's full colouring achieved. And all we've got to do is figure out the line. Oh, well, now the Rembrandt does it, doesn't it? Because I've forgotten about that. Oh, but hang on. Look, let's do more of the wasp coloured digits, because I think that the 2s and 3s and things are going to all sort of collapse together, because now we can literally double click orange. We know orange is 3, don't we, from this Rembrandt. This is lovely, which means dark green is 2. Now we have to look at whether, 2 goes together with 8, doesn't it, to make 10. So the lime green is 8 and the red is 7, and that's this puzzle solved. That is sensationally good, Chris. My goodness me, what a puzzle. Yes. 600. Oh, it's quite an old puzzle. I didn't realise it was that old, actually. 616 people have solved it. Good grief. Well, that's brilliant. That is just a lovely, lovely Sudoku puzzle. Goodness me. Well, I very much enjoyed it. very, very clever stuff with very minimal cluing, although the implications of the negative information was so gorgeous. Yeah, I'm very impressed. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.